According to Ukrainian military sources and battlefield footage shared via encrypted channels, 2 Russian soldiers on a motorcycle were seen traveling down a narrow dirt road, likely attempting to penetrate Ukrainian defenses and gather intelligence on troop deployments. Unknown to them, however, was that a Ukrainian sniper team had been observing them. Hiding in a camouflaged nest about 800 meters away, the sniper waited. As the motorcycle entered the kill zone, a single shot rang out. The driver fell forward, instantly killed, sending the motorcycle careening off the road and crashing. In the confusion, he tried to take cover behind an overturned motorcycle and returned fire with a Kalashnikov. However, before he could aim, a second bullet struck him. Moments later, more Russian troops appeared, a reaction force sent to support the motorcycle team. However, the Ukrainian sniper team had anticipated this move. With drone surveillance providing the unit with real-time information, the Ukrainian forces launched a swift ambush. Small arms fire, anti-personnel mines, and supporting artillery successfully neutralized the Russian team, reportedly killing or wounding at least. Ukrainian drones and artillery isolate the last escape roads, while intercepted messages reveal panic. Here, instead of fighting the Russians one-on-one, Ukrainians are creating yet another fire pocket around Yunakivka, a crucial Russian-controlled town in Sumy Oblast. Launching the second stage of the offensive, Ukrainian special forces are advancing the line in the forest, while Russian soldiers are killed by their own for attempting to surrender. Ukrainian forces are using their proven formula with a simple yet effective goal. Take the Russian ground lines of communication under fire control, isolate and starve the Russians in Yunakivka, and then turn the trap into a kill zone without any chances of evacuation or rotation. Russian commanders, bound by the obsession with holding territory at all costs, refuse to withdraw even from doomed positions, which the Ukrainians are counting on and more than ready to exploit. Yunakivka's open layout with scattered and burned-out buildings offers no cover and no reason for the Ukrainians to engage in a storming operation, which would only cost losses in an attritional battle that can hardly be won against an opponent with more troops on the ground. Russian drone footage shows the extent of destruction, confirming that Yunakivka is a battleground Ukrainians usually avoid in order to preserve personnel, and not waste them on frontal and grinding assaults. With the Russians switching to defensive operations in Yunakivka after their attempted push forward was annihilated by Ukrainian drones and artillery, the tempo of the battle has slowed down significantly, so the Ukrainian command started preparing their next move. The trap takes shape along the Sudza-Yunakivka road and the forested settlements running into the town, where Ukrainian drone and artillery fire control needs to be established to Russian supply lines. First, the Ukrainians begun pounding Russian positions with relentless drone strikes, softening defenses and exposing supply lines in preparation. The next step is to secure the forests south of the road, vital for staging points and ambush sites. Control of these woods grants Ukrainian forces cover for mortars, reconnaissance, and drone operations, and blocks the direct access from Sudza to Unakivka. This move would also deny Russians the ability to use the forest as an alternative supply route or start outflanking maneuvers through it. Once the forest is secured, Ukrainian attention will shift to Yablunivka, whose capture would close the pocket from the left flank and ensure that Unakivka is surrounded from three sides. Every path leading in or out of the village would then pass directly through Ukrainian fire control, a textbook kill zone designed not to win fast, but to destroy methodically. Ukrainian Special Operations Forces began clearing the forest in lightning raids, with recent video showing elite units advancing on quad bikes, weaving between shattered trees and trenches after artillery has shredded the Russian front line. As some Russians chose to flee their positions, Ukrainian operators moved in, clearing remaining positions and eliminating the remaining defenders. Among the dead, Ukrainians found a phone filled with messages and videos of Russian troops complaining of hunger, no rotation, and commanders ignoring their pleas. After securing the area and pushing the Russians out, the Ukrainians reinforced it with infantry under constant friendly fire support, turning this position in the forest into another forward base for continued movement deeper toward the Unakivka highway. As a result, Russian morale is collapsing fast, and those still in Unakivka speak of constant drone attacks, dwindling supplies, and commanders ordering suicidal counterattacks in surrounding areas. One Russian soldier reportedly wrote before his position was hit that they lacked food, shells, and had lost all hope. Others have tried surrendering, but even that proves deadly. In one shocking video, two Russian soldiers attempted to surrender, walking toward Ukrainian lines with raised hands, only for their own drones to bomb them with dropped munitions before they could reach safety. In early 2025, Russian forces in Ukraine essentially stopped attacking with armored vehicles. Instead, they sent in infantry on foot or on motorcycles. There were tactical reasons for the switch. Bike troops and widely scattered infantry stand a better chance of avoiding detection by the tiny explosive drones that are everywhere all the time over the 700-mile no-man's land in Ukraine. But there was a strategic reason as well. The Kremlin was planning for what Ukrainian drone operator Kriegsforscher described as a last, final battle for eastern Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast. And it expected all those tanks and other armored vehicles it had saved up to lead the way. The armored assaults began weeks later than Kriegsforscher and other observers expected, and they may have begun too late. Kriegsforscher warned that the coming winter and the dying leaves on 1 billion trees still clinging to life in shell-pocked Donetsk would deprive the Russians of concealment. Sure enough, a drumbeat of Russian mechanized attacks in recent days has resolved the same way each time. Dozens of tanks and other vehicles roll out, often in the company of scores of bike troops. Ukrainian surveillance drones spot them coming, and explosive first-person view drones and artillery take aim.